I squeezed enough so the sweater didn't drip water anymore and hung it to dry. Then I went back to the washing machine and in my stubbornness set out to find the problem. I wanted to fix the damn machine there, right then, and started pulling it apart. By the time I was finished, it was midnight. I was sweating profusely and I was pumped up from the adrenaline caused by my anger. This whole episode was totally trivial. Stuff like this happens all the time. We all experience anger and some shape or form. For me, it often comes when things don't do what they are supposed to, like my washing machine that doesn't want to wash. In the end, the problem was fixed, but at what cost? Seneca explained the importance of managing anger. Anger is not restrained, is frequently more hurtful to us than the injury that provokes it. This is not just emotionally true, there are physical implications too. When you are angry or when you beat yourself up because you are so critical of yourself, which is a form of anger toward yourself, you release cortisol. This isn't only bad for your body, it's also bad for your sleep. Cortisol is the primary stress hormone of the human body and it increases sugars in the bloodstream so your brain operates better during life and death situations. It's a great biological process that likely once saved us from saber-toothed tigers, but it also has power to destroy us when we get stressed about meaningless things. Cortisol slows down your metabolism, which can seriously disrupt your digestive system. 2000 years ago, Seneca probably didn't know about the science of cortisol, but he could feel the negative impact anger and stress had. Let's be real. Every time you get angry, you are only harming yourself. The things that make you angry are often less hurtful than the effort of anger on your body. That doesn't mean you should never get angry. Go ahead and get angry when someone treat, threatens, threatens your livelihood, but don't get angry with yourself when something goes wrong or when you do something wrong in your own eyes. So many of us treat ourselves with anger that we can use more self-love. Go easy on yourself. After the whole washing machine episode, I had to laugh because it was so stupid. I stood there sweaty at 12 a.m. fixing a washing machine while I should have been in bed. I also thought at least this experience wasn't meaningless because I can write about it. The better response would be to laugh right at the moment. I found a drenched sweater in the washing machine, but you know what they say, better late than never. Instead of beating yourself up and being your own antagonist, be your own comedian. Observe your behavior and instead of getting angry, become aware of the shortness of life, realizing that most things are not worth getting angry over and laugh it off. Life will be better that way. Managing your thoughts. The chief task in life is simply this to identify and separate matter so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Epictetus. Later number 8. On changing your mindset, not your surroundings. I have been feeling more and more frustrated with my surroundings lately. Every day starts to blend together. You wake up in the same bed, look at the same view, eat your breakfast in the same room, see the same neighbors, and so forth. This is the force that drives so many of us to travel. These feelings to get of getting bored, frustrated, and annoyed with your life is completely normal. I feel that I a few times a year as well. Here's how I deal with that to make it go away quickly. This desire to change your surrounding is not new. The Stoics wrote about it a lot. Seneca said it best when his friend Lucilius complained about how boring his life was, which made Lucilius feel depressed. Do you think you are the only man this happened to and feel amazed as if this was a new experience that after such prolonged travels and with such change of sense you have not shaken of your sadness and depression. You should change your attitude, not your surrounding. He is right. Why are we surprised that we get down? I find it especially weird that we insist on blaming our surrounding. I just need to get out of here as if a chance of scenery will make our problems go away. There's no such things. We think that the problems lies in our surrounding, but the problem is actually our mindset. And the problem is not you. It's human nature to get used to your surrounding. I haven't met a single person who doesn't get depressed by their life if there's no novelty. It doesn't matter how great your life is, at some point you adapt your standard, and when that happens, we feel depressed like Lucius. Sometimes you meet these overly optimistic people who always pretend everything is great. You ask, how are you? and they say wonderful. Those are the worst cases. Who on earth feel wonderful all the time? Give me a break. Life is hard, and anyone who pretends it's always amazing is fooling themselves. But here's the thing: you can snap out of your gloomy mindset. There's nothing wrong with you. The entity, soul, consciousness, or whatever you want to call yourself. I know this sounds esoteric, but here's what I remind myself of every time I realize I am blaming my surroundings. The solution is not out there, the solution is right where you are. All you need to do is change the way you look at things. Don't immediately try to change other things, even if you have control over them. But that's what the Stoics say. You should do focus on what you control. And I have control over my decisions, and I decide to get a new job or more move to another city. That's correct, but Stoicism is more subtle and complex than most people think. Just because you control certain things, I doesn't mean you have to exert your control. The key is to operate from a place of equanimity. Be calm and natural. Let that be your standard method of operation. Make your decisions from there. When I comes to changing your surrounding, I look at it this way. I would love to take a trip to the Caribbean and do some snorkeling, but I don't need anything. I am good the way that I am. Will I go when the time is right? Probably. Will I stay put and enjoy my days if it's a hazeless to go 100%? There's no need to change anything to find inner peace. It's right there where you are. You just have to change your mindset to see it. Letter 9 on observing your mind. Marcus Aurelius' Meditations was never meant to be published as a book. It's a collection of notes, scribbles, and musing he wrote over himself on those notes to himself. Is this my mind? What is it? What am I making of it? What am I using it for? Throughout meditation, you often see Aurelius asking himself questions. I like this way of thinking because he is not making any statements or assertions. Instead of assuming who the mind works, he asks a question: what is the mind? What am I using it for? If you know how you think, you can make such much better use of your mind. While it's hard to answer the first question, no one knows exactly what the mind is. You can think about what you are using your mind for. More examples, some days I notice that I am lost in thought from the moment I wake up instead to getting out of bed and starting my day. I have no focus at all. That still happens occasionally, but before I started practicing stoicism, would often think about things I had no control over. I often had anxiety about the future. What if my business fails? What if I have to get a job I hate? What if my relationship fails? What if fill in the blanks? I have learned to stop worrying and to focus on the present more, but I don't control my consciousness. And something I think a lot about my work, writing goals, future plans, etc. I think about the book I would like to write, the events I want to organize, the place I want to visit. You know the standard day, daydreaming type thoughts, but when you get lost in those thoughts, you also tend to listen to your thoughts. The other day I thought I want to organize an event for people who are interested in philosophy and personal growth. It sounds great, but it is not something I really want to do right now. It just sounded nice in my head. To bring it back to the question, Marcus Aurelius posed to himself, what am I using my mind for? In that case, I was using my mind to daydream and entertain myself with interesting fantasies. Having ideas is great, but do you really need to spend so much time playing out scenarios in your mind? It's just like replying conversations in your mind after they took place. Do you do that as well? Isn't not that a big waste of time? Nothing will change if you keep replying a conversation in your mind. You can go over everything and change what you said in your mind, but you cannot go back in time to actually have the same conversation again. This is another way of being lost. I'm in mind, and it's the perfect example of having useless thoughts. So it's useful to think about lesson you have learned from certain events, but it's not useful to replay past events in your mind like a broken record. To avoid wasting your time and energy on useless thoughts, you can observe your mind more simply. Grab a notebook and start journaling like Marcus Aurelius. The key is not journal around a particular challenge or question. For example, when I wanted to improve my skill as a stock trader, I asked myself what happens when I make mistakes with trading. Thought journaling, I noticed that I would often give in to my emotions like greed and the need to be right. One thing I did a lot in the past was averaging down. Let's say you are a momentum trader, not a long term investor. You only want to buy stocks that go up. So when you buy a stock at 50, you buy it because you think it keeps going up and you keep adding as it moves higher. A disciplined momentum trader never add to their position at 49. That's averaging down, but I would do that because I thought if I buy more at a lower price, my potential profit would be even more than was my greed speaking, and I have had a few occasions I kept adding to a position as it was going then 10 to 20% lower. That was because I had to prove I was right. This stock will go up eventually. I am just going to buy more as I goes lower. It's just a matter of time. Thought journaling. I noticed I was listening to those type of unhelpful thoughts by applying stoic principles to my trading strategy and my noticing in my greed and need to be right at the moment I stopped it. I haven't averaged down in a long time. Journaling about your thoughts, it is really simple. There's no right or wrong way to do it. You simply write down everything that pops up in your head, but always start with a question and then simply observe your mind on paper. The more you uh, uh, observe, the more you can spot unhelpful behavior. All you need to do now is do list of the unhelpful things and focus on doing things that help you to be a balanced person. Letter 6. 1. The kicker for fear. In one of Seneca's letter to his friend Lucilius, he shared a lesson he learned about fear. Chase to hope, and you will chase to fear. Isn't hope what propels us forward? Isn't it nihilistic to give up hope? I must be honest, I would think that hope serves a purpose. As the Dalai Lama said, I find hope in the darkest of days and focus in the brightest. The topic of hope is a popular one when it comes to motivational posters or social media posts, and there's truth in what people say about hope. We need to have some kind of faith that tomorrow will be better. Hope can inspire us to be optimistic, but what do you do when tomorrow isn't better? How do you respond when the things you hope for never come true? We hope for a lot of things. I hope there won't be another COVID surge. I hope I can go on a vacation. I hope she likes me. I hope I get here. Let's face it, the majority of the things we hope for we not come true. That's the type of hope Seneca was talking about. He continued, fear keeps space with hope. Both belong to a mind in suspense, to a mind in a state of anxiety. Thought looking into the future both are mainly due to projecting our thoughts far ahead of us. instead of adapting ourselves to the present. This could not be put in a better way. Hope and fear are the same things. When you experience fear, you hope that something doesn't happen in the most primitive and ancient why it's I hope this tiger will not eat me. But in today's suffer world, it's more like I hope that the things I wouldn't want will not happen. Things about how often you use the fair first. I hope so, and so happens. I catch myself saying it casually pretty often, but on a deeper level, I don't hope for things to happen. I do have the faith, hope, believe in a better future, but I have a very abstract type of hope. I don't want to have a specific type of hope because it only causes fear. When you hope for something, you wish to have the things you want. This is not a peaceful way to life. Just have faith in the future and when forget about it. Avoid looking into the future for too long. When you notice that you strongly want things to happen, becomes aware of your thoughts, correct your self talk. This is really important because the way you talk enforce your beliefs. When you say I hope all the time, you think it's normal behavior. You will keep shopping and you will probably hope for more, and when things don't work out, you become disappointed. I picked up a great techniques for avoiding that from Susan Jeffers, the author of Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. In her book, she recommends everyone start wondering instead of hoping. Instead of saying, I hope I get a new job, say, I wonder what my new job will be. I think this mindset shift because it's more like how life really is unpredictable. When we hope for things, we think we can control life. We think as long as we really want something badly, it will come true. It's a form of feeling in control. I can imagine that many people spend their entire lives hoping for one things after the other. It's a good way to keep yourself busy. But if you instead start looking at life as a journey that could lead you anywhere, you go about everything differently. You will say, let's see what happens, and as a stoic, whatever happens is fine, so life will be fine. Letter 7 on giving yourself a break. Let's night. My washing machine broke down. I wanted to quickly wash a sweater that I have been wearing a lot so I could let me dry overnight at least. That's what I thought when I turned the thing on at 10 p.m. It was supposed to be a quick 60-minute program. When I went to check how many minutes were left on the machine, almost an hour later, I saw an error code on the screen. You better not break down on me. I said out loud as if the machine could hear me. I knew it. The things didn't work. I opened the door and my sweater was drenched in water. I could feel my anger shrink inside. First, I took the sweater to my bathtub and started centrifuging the thing with my hands like a cowboy in an old western washing his shirt in the river. As I was washing the sweater, I was surprised by how heavy it was on my forearms. I actually thought this is a good workout and felt pretty good about it for a moment, but after doing it for a while and realizing it takes a long time to get the water out of the cotton, I started getting annoyed. Why does